nights of speed dating, you will meet hundreds of beautiful Colombian women. Submit your order at medellindating.com. Includes accommodation in a comfortable 5-star hotel. 7, 10, or 14 days. Contact us at our Phoenix office +160-2553-8178. Or our manager in Medellin, Venezuela, +57350-437-2537. Rate us at infofecolombia@gmail.com. Find your perfect match and take your life to the next level with a foreign affair.
¿Cómo estamos?
Muy bien,
¿Ya?
contentos.
¿Cómo te va con Matching y cómo te va en Guatapé?
Yes, I'm still here. I know. It's amazing. I've been here for the last few weeks. But you are with A Foreign Affair and our Monday night webcast. My name is John Adams, co-founder of Foreign Affair, and here I am. Next week you might see a little change here. Just a little tease. Might see a little change, but right now you got me. I know, not exactly the eye candy you may be looking for, but I will try to give you some decent information here for the next hour. And you're in luck because we are going to have a guest with us tonight, right from Mexico City. Ola is going to be with us, and she's going to be talking about, well, all things involving dating in Mexico, Mexico City, because we do have our tour going up there pretty soon, guys, and it's just about sold out. So you still may, and I say may because I'm not positive that there is space left, but there may be a spot or two left on that tour if you're interested in jumping on it, okay? No time like the present. So if that's something that you think you might want to do, keep watching at 6 o'clock. In the next 30 minutes, let's put it that way, wherever time you are. But in the next 30 minutes, we will have Ola on, and she'll be giving us all the information about what goes on those tours in Mexico City. But they're great tours. We get such good feedback from you guys when you go on those tours because we ask you when you get back, how was the tour? We give you this whole little survey to fill out. And we get some of the best surveys ever from the Mexico City tour. You guys really do it. They do a great job down there. So, all right. Speaking of great jobs, we are going to have our seminars coming up here soon. It's getting closer. And I'm really excited about it. I love doing the seminars. I love just being in the forum with you guys, face to face. We can just bounce off each other, talk about things. It's so much fun. And that's happening in Phoenix on June 29th. So we'll have that here. And then we're going to be in Salt Lake City on July 13th. Really looking forward to that. And then Miami, Florida on July 27th. Okay, so 3 seminars in the works for you guys coming up over the next couple months. Would love to see you there. There's a lot of really good information, actually loaded with great information, food, drinks, but most of all, you just get to meet the other gentlemen and understand that you're not alone in this. And why are we moving so fast on these videos? Oh my gosh, it's making me nervous. I don't know what that is, but we're moving very quickly. We really, in real life, don't move that fast at the seminars normally, but they're doing something over here maybe to show as much as they can. I don't know. But anyways, the seminars are fun. They're very informative. You get to meet a lot of different people, and just for having to listen to me for 4 hours, not just me though, there's a lot of other people. But we reward you with some really cool seminar-only incentives for those of you that want to actually take that next step and make something happen with this, okay? So, yeah, looking forward to that. All right, and we do have some tours coming up here, guys. I mean, we have that Cebu tour in the Philippines happening in, just 3 days. So, if you want to get on that tour, you better move, and you better move fast, because that one's happening really, really soon. Looking forward to that. Cebu's always good. And I'm telling you, there's going to be some marriages from that. You're going to see some engagements from that tour because we get those all the time. They do a really good job there. The women that come are very motivated, interested. The men that go are motivated, interested. And when you put those two populations together, things happen. All right? So that's going to be a good one. And then we got Shenzhen coming up June 6th, not far away. So we got the China tour happening here soon. And then the Mexico City tour that we're going to be talking about tonight, that's happening June 6th. So there's still some time to get on that tour. But I know that the Mexico City one is getting close to sold out. The Shenzhen, China one, that's, you have to have a visa to go there. So if you don't have a visa yet, chances of you getting on that one are going to be greatly reduced. But there's always the next one coming up. And that's the beautiful thing about this, guys. There's never an excuse not to go because we talk about it all the time. We have these tours out there that are going year round. And then we have Medellin coming up June 20th. And Medellin is one of the best tours we've got out there, too. I mean, we do great Medellin, and the staff will take such good care of you. Such great reviews from the guys on the Medellin tour as well. So all good stuff going on. All right. We do have a poll question tonight. And that poll question is, I believe it is DIY dating versus matchmaking. Which do you prefer and why? All right. And that, I think, is really, really important, to think about, because there's a lot of the do-it-yourself dating out there with all the apps and everything. And then there's more of the matchmaking, right? And when you really think about what is matchmaking, we can get into that a little bit as well. But that's something that you need to think about. And some guys will prefer the matchmaking. They want the assistance. They want the help that you can get on a group tour. You can get on our executive service or our club packages. And others just want to do it all on their own, right? And they don't really need the help. And you can even do that through us, where we're not really doing much matchmaking. We're just facilitating what you want and who you want to meet, right? So we offer the best of both worlds. You can have an enormous amount of matchmaking and assistance and personalized help, right, with our executive service. Or you can have quite a bit of personalized matchmaking with our group tours or our clubs. And then you can have very little with just the one-on-one introductions and just that, right? So, we offer something for everyone on the site. Even just correspondence, if that's all you want to do, right? If you just want to kind of be a pen pal, you can do that too and just write. And if that's what you need and that's what you want out of the site, you can get that as well. Although, when we first envisioned this, it wasn't about just writing, right? And I've been saying that for 30 years, is that this is really more about trying to move off-site, move offline, and try to meet these wonderful women in person, like I did, and like so many others have done over the last 30 years or so now. So, but again, you have all the different options within just one platform. And so it's up to you to decide what you want to do and how you want to do it, all right? But I also have an announcement that I want to make today, and we got to get our little machine here ready, because I was just on the phone, I think it was 2 days ago, with Brandon from New Zealand. We have a shout out to Brandon because he got off his butt. He stopped writing letters. He went to the Philippines, and he is now engaged. Yay! Congratulations, Brandon. And did I say Australia? I might have said it's New Zealand. I don't know if I said Australia. I always mix those up. Those guys get mad at me. They don't like that when you mix up. It's different countries, obviously. So it is New Zealand. All right, a Zealander. And we're very, very happy for him. I had quite the long conversation with him about it. And they're working on all the plans to get her to come over now to New Zealand and everything. And, it's so cool to take those calls, guys. I mean, look, we've been doing this a long time. And there's so many different things that we do. But one of the best parts of all of this is when I get that phone call, like I got from Brandon a couple days ago, saying, John, I want to talk to you. And he has an accent. And it's long distance. So I got to listen really hard to understand exactly what he's saying. Now, some people say I have an accent. I like to disagree with that. But he definitely had an accent, at least in my ear. And it was wonderful to hear him telling me the story about how it all happened and what she's like, how old she is, all this. And I love hearing it, right? And I get a lot of that from you guys, and it's wonderful. I think on the last show I talked about how I just got a photo recently of a wonderful baby that was just born with Cody and his wife. Another little thing for that, yeah, because that's not a little thing, that's a huge thing. Put my there we go. I love this thing. Right, thank you, Dave, by the way. Another shout out to Dave. But a shout out to Cody because, he went through the process and, it took him a while to find the right one. Guys, just because you go over and there's lots of opportunity, which we provide for you, unlike anyone else in the world, that still doesn't mean that you're going to meet the woman who you want to spend the rest of your life with and who she wants to spend the rest of her life with, right? That mutual connection. Doesn't mean that mutual connection is going to happen on the very first tour, the very first time you go somewhere. Okay, it may not. But that if it doesn't mean like, oh, well, this didn't work. I guess, I'll go back to sitting at the bar every night with the other guys here from my town and just complain about how there's no women here, blah, blah, blah. No. You just got to keep looking. You got to keep doing it. And, it's those of you guys that are the ones that, find success because you're actually out there trying. Brandon could have just stayed in New Zealand and, not tried, not gone to the Philippines, not put him in or put himself in a position to be successful, but he did. And now he's engaged. And that's a wonderful thing. And so, yeah, I'm happy for you. So congratulations, Brandon. Shout out to you. All right. I don't know if Tanya's going to be with me next week. That's not what I was talking about, but we'll see. I like to have teasers here. But I will say that Tanya and I sat down and watched Love Me, the documentary again here recently last night, and that was great to see because it's been so long since I've seen it. If you guys haven't watched that in a while, it's kind of fun to watch because, that goes back like 15 years now or so. And really interesting to see that. It's aged well, actually. It's pretty cool. Although I had a lot, and I mean a lot, darker hair than I do now. It was a little sad, but it's okay. It's all right. Wisdom, at least that's what they say. I don't know. Lakota says, got my tour nailed down with Michelle today. Woohoo! That deserves another little applause there. Congratulations, Lakota. That's amazing. That's wonderful. That's what we like to see. All right. So now, see, and when you do that, now you have something to look forward to, right? It's like booking some kind of vacation a year in advance or something like that. Now it's like, okay, now I can start getting ready for it. I can start planning things around it. I can start really getting excited about it. Do the research of the city I'm going to be in. Look at all the different things I want to visit when I'm there. All that other stuff, in addition to all the things that we're going to be doing for you. That's why it's just so cool. All right. So congratulations, Lakota. I think that's wonderful. James is the first one here to answer our poll question. Guys, there is a poll question there. Pay attention. Answer the poll question. We need this. This is how these shows work. There's this way, give and take, give and take. We need you out there. Can't do this alone. All right. James, I guess I could do it alone, but it'd be really boring. I don't want to do it alone. I want the give and take and the fun. All right. So James says, I prefer matchmaking because I haven't had luck doing it myself, the DIY. Yeah. I think the matchmaking on whatever level it is, right? Whether it's the real intense executive or it's the group tours, which they still do a lot of matchmaking. They help you quite a bit. Whatever that is, you're going to get a lot of input. You're going to get advice. You're going to get help. You're not alone. All too often, we feel like we're all alone and we have to do this all by ourselves. We get on these websites and we swipe this way and we swipe that way and we do this and we do that. And then at the end of all that, we feel more alone than when we started. And that, my friends, is technology. And unfortunately, all this technology that was really going to help us do all these things so much better, really hasn't delivered so much in a lot of different areas. We're seeing less marriages. We're seeing less interaction between men and women, especially younger men and women. I mean, they don't know how to get off their screens. They don't know how to physically interact with each other anymore. They don't know how to date, kiss, those kind of things, because they're all just so used to that screen and the abbreviations they use and all that other stuff, right? And it's kind of sad. And that's what's nice about our site is that it's not just about screen time. We're not relegating you to just being on the screen and trying to communicate with someone in virtual space. You can actually get off the screen, get off the virtual space, and go and see these people. We arranged this for you. Who else does that? There's really hardly anyone out there, and there's no one out there doing it the way we do it. But there's hardly anyone out there even trying to get these meetups together, get these speed dating going, right? There's some companies here in the States that'll do speed dating from time to time, but not like we do. We do it on steroids. We do it amazingly well, to where you guys are getting so much more opportunity than you would ever get here. And you just don't see that out here. You know, I think we kind of just get lost in all of the static that's been around international dating and online dating in general. In the foreign affair, we stood out like crazy 30 years ago. But now I think we're just kind of lost in the static somewhat. And that's a shame, because we're the only ones out there really offering these kind of opportunities that you keep seeing on your screen as you're listening to me. You see these guys at a table. Look, one guy, 4 women. One guy, 6 women. One guy, 5 women. Where does that happen in your neighborhood? Go to the Applebee's. Sit there. You're going to see this? No, you're not. Right? So, all right, I'm getting a little preachy again. I'm sorry. I didn't even have any due today. No, I'm going dewless, and I'm still getting preachy. Brandon from New Zealand says, thanks, John. Well, thank you, Brandon, and for calling me and letting me know all about that. That's so cool. All right. So, James, as far as you preferring matchmaking, you can make that happen. It's not hard, and it's not expensive with us. I know some companies will charge thousands and thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars for personalized matchmaking, right? First, they're going to want to see your financial portfolio. Then they're going to figure out how much money you make. Then they're going to give you a price based on all that, and that's all ridiculous. And I really don't like that, never did. That's not what we do. I mean, our prices are set. Of course, we have to charge something for it, because obviously we need to keep the lights on. We need to pay all these wonderful matchmakers that are doing their jobs, that are putting so much of their heart and soul into this. And so we do. But it's worth it, because if you find that one special person, it's one-on-one, even if you don't, okay? And we can't guarantee that everybody who does this is going to be successful in terms of finding that one person they want to spend the rest of their life with. But even if you don't, it is a journey that you're going on, and you learn from that journey, especially when you're working with a matchmaker, and you learn a lot about yourself, and it does things to you. It changes you. It changes your mindset. It changes your confidence level. It changes a lot of things. So even if you're not successful in finding that one person right away, it may help you be successful in the future. It may open your eyes to opportunities that before were closed to you because you just didn't want to give yourself that chance. But when you start opening yourself up to things like this, it kind of really opens up everything. You know, it's just a matter of putting yourself in a place to be successful. All right. Jeez, we're having fun. Okay, we just got about 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to go to Mexico City, and we'll be live there with Ola, and I'm really looking forward to that, because we have that tour coming up really soon, and so we're going to have to deal with that. All right. Swole, I think it is. I don't know. Yeah, I can't. Something like that. He goes, I prefer matchmaking over DIY. Potentially safer and can screen more efficiently. Okay, we haven't even talked about the safety aspect of this, but way safer. Okay, it's not to say that you still can't have issues with matchmaking and safety. It can still happen, right? Anything can happen anywhere, anytime, especially when you're in foreign countries. So you need to be careful. But, okay, there is such a dichotomy between what we do and what DIY sites do, because we are talking with the women. We are getting IDs of the women. We are helping to facilitate the meetings between the men and the women. We are getting the information about the men. We're getting criminal history. We're getting sex offender history. We're getting marital history. And then we're giving that to the women. They're signing that. And when you go to meet one of the women, we're helping to arrange that so we know who you're meeting. She knows that we know. He knows that we know. And because of that, it's usually, and is, much safer, as opposed to a DIY situation where you're swiping, and then you're like, oh, well, yes, meet me here. And you're like, oh, yes, you're beautiful, I'll meet you there. And then you go, and it turns out not to be her, but some thug or group of thugs that decide that they would prefer to kidnap you than take you to dinner. Okay? And unfortunately, guys, that happens. And you don't want to get kidnapped. You'd want to go to a nice romantic dinner. So don't put yourself, again, into that position. Use a service that you feel is going to help make sure that who you're meeting is actually who you're supposed to be meeting. Okay? So, yeah. So the safety thing, I think, is huge. And again, we've been doing this for 30 years. And, when I look at what's happening lately in some of these places, I'm shocked because that just doesn't happen with us. All right. Okay. You guys are so funny. Blue, I got 3 of my kilts packed already. We're talking to Kevin Blue. We want him to bring his as well because he's going to be there with you guys. And so we'll see. Okay, we're going to, he's a little nervous. I think he needs some encouragement. All right, because, yeah, let's do it. Kevin, you got to do it. You walk into that. Of course, I don't know, because if you do that, you might take away a little bit from Blue. Because right now he's the only one. If we have multiple men wearing kilts, it's not as unique. So we'll have to give that some thoughts. Maybe not the social, but somewhere else. I don't know. We'll talk about that, Blue. But you got your kilts going? I like that. All right, good. Kind of an inside joke there, but, Blue is really into all this stuff having to do with, the kilts and everything. And so he actually wore one at a social. And the response was amazing. The staff was like, don't do that. Are you crazy? Don't do that. That's not good. But you know what? It worked. And the women really liked it. So, hey, what the hell? What do we know? All right. Lakota, John, can me and Blue do a show takeover? No. Sorry. Next. Just can't do that. We have Leonard from Thailand here, and he wants to make an announcement, it looks like. Good morning, John from Bangkok. FYI, our client Craig got married to Ja, who you interviewed in Thailand about 6 years ago. The couple are happily living in New Zealand's North Island as I type. Leonard. Woohoo! That's wonderful. And I think I remember doing that interview with Ja so long ago, and now she's married, and he's, New Zealand. What is it with New Zealand? You New Zealand guys are kicking butt. Yay! I mean, all right, that's 2 New Zealand guys moving forward with the girls. You're making us look bad here in the States, Australia, UK. I mean, come on. But New Zealand's not that big, and they're kicking butt. I love that. Good job, New Zealand. John keeps the AFA vibe going. I don't know what vibe I got going, but there's something going on. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of ODing on dew, but I haven't had any, I promise. You can do a blood test, anything, that's fine. Blue says, poll question. I prefer matchmaking as you will have more in common and both have the same goal. Yeah, if you have a good matchmaker and she's doing the job properly, then she should introduce you to women that there are commonalities and that you're sharing the same goal. But just because you have things in common with the other person doesn't always necessarily mean that it's going to be a great match, right? Because you also have to have that chemistry. I've seen people get married that were total opposites. Didn't have a whole lot in common, but yet they're married year after year after year, and still together. So there's so much that goes into this. This is not a science of that. Like, let's see, I like reading, you like reading. I like swimming, you like swimming. Let's get married. Just doesn't. It's not that simple. It doesn't work that way. There's so much that goes into the whole matchmaking, and a lot of it is just gut, it's feeling, it's chemistry, and a lot of these matchmakers, when you're going over there, they know many of the women, and now they're getting to know you, and now they can say, yeah, I think this might be a good fit, or this might be a good fit, or no, that's not going to be a good fit. It's funny. I was talking to Dave from New York, who's now in Florida, if you're watching Dave, and he's a great guy. And he was one of our executive clients. He's been to our socials. This goes back in the days when we were doing the socials in the Ukraine. And he went up to this woman at a social, and I know Dave really well, and I knew this woman very well. And I saw them talking for about 10 minutes, and then they stopped talking. And then I walked up to Dave, and I said, Dave, she's not for you. And Dave's like, well, what do you mean? I said, she's just not for you. It's not the match. And Dave's like, well, but she's beautiful. I said, yeah, I know she's beautiful, but she's not for you. And sure enough, Dave ignored me because everyone ignores me. And he went out with her. And after a while, he came to me and said, you were right. She's not for me. Well, I could have saved you a month or two if you would have listened to me, but no one wants to listen. Fine, that's fine. Do it the hard way. That's fine. See if I care. All right. Blue says, Kevin needs to have his kilt. He will get a woman. Well, Kevin, what do you got to lose? I mean, yeah. All right. I'm having fun. Let's see here. Frank says, DIY dating is like swimming in shark-infested waters. Matchmaking is like a lifeguard telling us where to swim. Woohoo! Frank, that is one of the best analogies I have heard. I don't know if this is like copyrighted or something, but guys, I want to use this. Save that. We're going to put it out there. Frank, we'll do something. We'll give you an introduction or something as payment. That dating, I'm going to say that again. I love that. Dating is like swimming in shark-infested waters. Matchmaking is like a lifeguard telling us where to swim. I love that. Save that, you guys. We're going to put that somewhere on the site. I love that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. What content we're getting here. See, we do a show and we get content from you guys. This is what I mean about the give and take here. This is what we need from you guys. I love it. Ricardo, poll question. I prefer matchmaking, less work and rejection. You're still going to get rejected, Ricardo. Even with matchmaking, it's going to happen, right? But that's okay because not everyone's going to be a match. Even if we think it's a match, it may not be a match. It might be a little less rejection. Less work, yeah, maybe a little less work. It's still work. I tell guys that like start the executive program with us, I'm like, you're going to do a lot of work still, okay? There's work involved in this. You're going to be an active participant. You ever see that movie Click? I'm not crazy about, who's that guy in Click? Who's the guy? Adam Sandler, yeah. He's all right. I mean, I'm not crazy, but I really liked that movie because he kind of like fast forwarded through his life to get to the good part, right? I'm going to skip this, I'm going to get here. I'm going to skip this, I'm going to get here. Okay, dating's kind of like that, right? You got to go through it. You don't want to miss it because even though there's going to be pain and there's going to be rejection, there's going to be some bad parts, you have to go through that to know the good part. Because if you don't experience the bad parts, how are you ever going to know it's the good part, right? You have to, kiss those frogs, as they say. You have to go through that to get to, oh, yeah, this is the one. And you really know it's the one. And when it's the one, you're ready to pull the trigger because of all the other bad experiences you had. As opposed to, oh, this girl's really good, but let me wait to see what's next and what's better, and then what's better, and then what's better. And some guys do that. And those are the guys who are still with us, unfortunately, 25 years later, still going to social, still looking for someone, because they're always looking for the next best thing. And that is probably not a good way to go either. So keep that in mind. All right. I got to hurry because I think we're supposed to go to Mexico soon, so I'm going to get through a couple of these. Eric, when are you going to do another Cleveland seminar visit? I got club seats for the first place Guardians if you come. Woohoo! Yeah, Eric, that sounds pretty good. In my day, when I lived there, they were known as the Indians, and I guess we can't do that anymore. Chief Wahoo, whoever it was, we can't do that anymore, so now they're the Guardians. All right, fine. But I have fond memories of going to some of those games when I was 9 or 10 years old, and and the Browns, back when they were the original Browns. Eric Lee, I definitely want to do one. It'll probably be in the fall, but we're gonna do one out there for a lot of reasons. Barboza says, John, I need to give you a call one of these days. I need an opinion on which country to choose. Well, we are going to go to Mexico in just a minute, and you might get some good advice there as well. But if you want to call me, I'll be happy to talk to you. And Blue, I have a good feeling about Mexico in 2 weeks. I already have 3 dates set up. Cool, Blue. Not bad, not bad. Just let it come to you, Blue. Don't push, right? Can't push on these things. Some guys go over and they're like, gotta happen, gotta happen, gotta happen. But just let it come to you, and it will come to you. And I know you, Blue. You're going to be fine. You've got such a good attitude. And guys, that is probably one of the most important things that you can take with you. All right, you got to take some clothes. Obviously, we don't want you running around naked or anything. You got to take your sunscreen. You got to take, all the stuff you got to take when you go on a vacation someplace. But if you forget all that, then don't forget to pack a good attitude. Bring the attitude. Bring it. Because that is going to make or break what you're going to do. It really is. And some guys, they'll break it. They'll bring the wrong attitude. And then it's just not working. And that's not good. You want to bring that right attitude. And that will make such a huge difference. I can't stress that enough. Guys ask me, what's the most important thing to do? Should I do this? Attitude. It's all about what's in between the ears. That's what's going to make the difference. All right. I think we have our special guest on right now because I see a smiling face here. Hola, are you there?
Hi, John. I'm here. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Hola. How are you, dear?
Very good. It's quite hot in Mexico City. It's 90 degrees right now.
You got 90. We had 100 yesterday. Today got down to like 80, though, or something. It was really nice. But yesterday was about 100. Day before, about 104. So 90 is not too bad for us. Now, if you're coming from Minnesota, that could be a little bit of a shock to you right now, okay? So, but that's all right. You go down there, take some swim trunks, go find a pool somewhere, and all that kind of fun stuff. You know, it's beautiful. It's Mexico. I mean, that's cool. So I'm excited. A couple weeks and that tour's going to be there, Ola. Are you guys ready?
We are super ready, and we are very happy to know that 1 month before the tour, we have already had 12 guys. So we are almost sold out. And as you said the previous time, it means a lot. It means that the guys who have already been to Mexico say good things about us and invite other guys to come here. And we are getting popular because gentlemen are having really great time here, in addition to meeting very nice ladies.
Yeah, they are actually. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. We get really, really good reviews from the guys when they come back, and that's wonderful to see. And some of these guys are super picky, super analytical. And still they're coming back and saying wonderful things about us. Because this is not an easy business, although you know this. You've been in this business now for quite some time and dealing with the women, dealing with the men. It's not like you can control it because you don't want to control it, right? We're matchmakers. We want to put people together. But you know what? If it's not going to work, then we want it not to work so the guy and the woman can move on to someone else. So it's not like we can push things and make things happen. Like if you're in a bakery, right? You make a great cake. You can control everything, the ingredients, how you do it, and then your product is perfect, and here you go. That's not how it is for us, is it? It's a lot more difficult.
Exactly. We are creating all the conditions, but in the end, a lot depends on a man and a woman. But despite of all these complications, gentlemen are having great time because they are having many dates. And as one of the clients from the previous tour said, when I came here, my self-esteem was on this level, and now I'm leaving and my self-esteem is on this level. So it's also a great outcome, even if you don't find the love of your life.
Right. And I think you're aware of, but we just got an email a few days ago from Mexico about a recent marriage. So congratulations there. We like to see marriages, lots and lots of marriages. So that's wonderful. I've been seeing a lot of those marriages lately, a lot of engagements, mainly from New Zealand. What the hell's up with New Zealand? You guys got to start more here in the U.S. Getting all this stuff from New Zealand lately. Hey, I love you guys in New Zealand, don't get me wrong, but I need more competition from good old US of A and these other places, come on.
Exactly.
But it's wonderful. Wherever it comes from, I don't care. So our poll question tonight, Ola, is asking the men if they prefer to do it yourself dating or matchmaking. And so far, everyone has picked matchmaking. So when you think about a do-it-yourself dating, kind of like Tinder or something where you just swipe left, swipe right, go online, and you try to do it all yourself, as opposed to matchmaking when we have our matchmakers there that are meeting the men, getting to know them a little bit, and then starting to make recommendations because you guys know the women. Talk a little bit about how you do that, how you size up a man, and how you make a recommendation for him to meet a certain woman that you might think might be a good match.
It happened a lot during the socials, especially because I get to know men better. it's one thing to just read a profile of somebody online and even on our website, and completely the other thing is to meet a person and to talk to him, to understand him a bit better, to understand his values. I'm usually sending a couple of questions to the gentleman to also understand them better and to be able to present to our ladies. And then when I know who I'm dealing with, I have in mind, like in my mind, I start making these connections because, okay, I know the woman of the age category he is looking for. I think that she might be interested and he might be interested in her. So we are starting to show some profiles, but usually it's not that big percentage during the socials because gentlemen get overwhelmed with all the ladies.
Yeah, they do. I know they do. That's okay. But the guys have to stay focused. They have to kind of keep in mind what they came there for. Don't get swept off their feet so easily and try to stay focused on the women that they really want to try to get to know better after the social. Social events are a wonderful thing, and you're getting all this attention as a man. Although I don't know if you understand this or not, but here, us men don't get this kind of attention normally when we go out. We just don't. And when we walk into a room and there's so many beautiful, wonderful women and they actually want to talk to us, okay, that's not normal. That just doesn't happen. And so for these men, as I'm sure they told you, it's like a shock. And so how do they get over that? Well, what advice do you give these men when they go to that first social, that first hour or so, and they see all these women and they run to the bar to start drinking? What advice do you give them?
Well, I'm always there near them and I'm approaching them and asking how they are doing and try to pacify them with some words of encouragement, saying that they are great men and they have to believe in themselves because, okay, being in the United States is one thing, but coming to Mexico is, as you say, John, it's an absolutely different thing. And the ladies are there aimed at meeting these gentlemen and they like them. So yes, it's easy to get overwhelmed, but gentlemen, believe in yourselves. You are exceptional, you are intelligent, you have great values, and you are catches for those women. So please believe that they are really interested in you.
And you know, one of the things that qualify you guys that go on these tours, one of the things that the women appreciate is that you're there. You're not just a keyboard Romeo. You're just not writing letters and that's all you're going to do. Oh, I'm going to come first of the year or this, that, and you never come. Right? But you're there, and that raises your stock so much in the eyes of these women because they know that you had to get on a plane, you had to plan this, you had to go there, you had to get in your hotel, you had to do all this stuff, right? I mean, yeah, you know, it's a little bit of something for them to come to the social because some of their friends might get a little bit of a hard time. Oh, you're doing that international dating thing, blah, blah, blah. So I have respect for the women that go as well. But they didn't have to do all the traveling, all the things that you guys are doing, and the women appreciate that, don't they, Ola?
But I must mention that as a woman, ladies are also doing their amount of job. They are doing great makeup. They choose their outfit, all their styles.
I know.
And we are giving them some like special advices. We are doing the online workshops for them also to prepare them because believe me or not, they also get overwhelmed. They see all this handsome, interesting, serious man, and they are like, "Oh my God, this is the man I was looking for." What am I going to do?
All right, let's get.
Attention.
No, that's cool that you're helping the women as well. That's wonderful. You know, this is what we do. We try to help the men and the women with everything. Even if it's correspondence, we help both the men and the women, right? Tanya's been helping one of our executives like crazy, helping this person with his letters and what to write, what not to write, what words to use, what not to use. And the matchmakers there do the same thing with the women as well. And when you're there in person, they're going to help. We're going to do our best to facilitate these things. That's why you get so much more attention on this type of site than you, on this site, I should say, not even type because there is no other site like ours, compared to any other type of site. All right, Ola, we got to get to some questions here. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right. Well, the first one I think is more for me. Why not do another Houston seminar since you're going to Mexico City? Well, first of all, I'm not going to Mexico City. I wish I was. But so yeah, that's not going to work that way. But we will do Houston again, probably closer to winter. But I really like Houston a lot, and Dallas, and we'll do those. James, okay, here you go. I wish I was going to Mexico City, but I'm going to be somewhere else during that time, so I won't be able to be in Mexico. I can't, if I could clone myself, it'd be great. I get more sleep that way. All right, James has a serious question for us, Oli. I think you might be able to help him. Here we go. So, guys, I haven't dated since 2015. That's almost 10 years. Any advice to get back in the groove?
That's a serious question.
Serious question.
Well, come to Mexico City. You will have a huge, amazing, priceless training because you are going to meet at least some 100 ladies. Imagine 100 dates per weekend.
It's a lot. Yeah, what she's saying, James, actually, although it sounds like shock treatment, maybe it is shock treatment. If you haven't done this for 10 years, right? And now you just go out and you throw yourself into this kind of speed dating environment and you're just going to be surrounded by all these women. But what it'll do for you is, as Ola said at the beginning when she came on, it will help your confidence. It really will, because you're going to meet all these different women and all of a sudden you're going to walk out of this thing feeling a lot better about yourself, feeling better about your confidence. And then even if you don't meet someone here that you really think that you may be able to move forward with, when you go back to the States, it's going to help you go on dates there. It's going to help you meet. And look, a lot of our guys that end up going on tours with us may ultimately marry a woman from their home country, from their home city, right? I mean, it happens, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because you go on this, there's no law that says you have to get married to a foreign woman, right? But it opens up so many other things for you. It really does. And that's what Olia was trying to say, is that confidence level. It gives you that. So that when you come back home, you might walk up to that woman at the restaurant that normally you wouldn't have and say, hey, how you doing? What is that, cherry pie? I love cherry pie. Something like, I don't know, something. That's why I don't get very many dates. Of course, I'm married, have been, so I don't try to get dates. So the cherry pie line probably ain't going to work. But you understand what I'm saying, right, Ola?
Yes, John, exactly. And the gentleman will know what to talk about with the ladies, how the modern dating market is, and how are the tendencies, what people are discussing, how the dates are, and everything. So you will be updated just very quickly.
Okay, Ola. Ricardo has a question for you. If I want to take a date for a swimming at a pool, do you have any suggestions? I understand that the hotel doesn't have a pool.
Yes, this hotel, when the gentlemen are going to stay, doesn't have a pool, but there is a number of great hotels around which do have a pool, and there will be no problem. I will find a solution.
It was like when we were kids. You just kind of sneak in and jump in the pool, and yeah, it'd be fun. So yeah. And, you doing something like that with a woman's kind of fun, Like Tanya and I, we were someplace and we get on the bus like, oh, we're not going to pay. Let's just try to sneak on the bus. We sneak on the bus and someone comes out, we're going to get busted. We're going to get in trouble. It's just stupid little things like that. But you remember those stupid little things. And if you go sneak into a pool at a hotel, what's the worst thing you're going to do? Lock you up in jail for a night or two. That's okay. But all right. I'm sure Ola will help you get into a pool somewhere. You'll be fine. Do not do anything illegal. I was not advocating for illegal activities in Mexico City. Don't do it. All right. Eric Lee says, at this point, Mexico City would be a destination that I would do a tour on. Good, Eric. Yeah, you should. All right.
Very few places, very few spots are available. We are almost sold out, so please hurry up.
All right. Let's see. And Eric says, I want to do a tour to Mexico way back when I started, but in 2016, there was no such thing as a Mexico tour. What? No Mexico tour? Where were you, Ola? What were you doing? Why weren't you there?
I was in Ukraine.
You were in Ukraine? What the heck were you doing in Ukraine? Right. Now you're back in Mexico City, and we're doing tours there. Good fun. All right.
Exactly.
Very cool. Blue says, Ola really makes a man feel like he's a god ready to find his goddess.
That's a great attitude. you will meet many goddesses in Mexico City. So that's the right destination.
All right, James has another serious question. James, you have a lot of serious questions. James I think he's a pretty serious guy. Here we go.
Okay.
Ola, do most of the women have no issue moving to another country?
That's true. Most of them do not have issue, except for those who have underage children. Then they will have to obtain the permission of the father, and sometimes it's complicated. But the rest of the ladies are very much open to move.
Okay, good. Yeah, Tanya has a good saying about that is, home is where my heart is. Home is where my husband is. I mean, if someone falls in love and you live in New Zealand, which it seems like a lot of people live in New Zealand, they're getting married.
Or like me in Mexico, being Ukrainian, because I moved to Mexico also because I had fallen in love. It didn't work in the end, but the life led me to Mexico, and I'm actually happy about it.
That's cool. All right, that's cool. Yeah, because it doesn't really matter where you live. If the chemistry is really right, you can live on Mars and be happy if you two are really meant for each other, right? So that's important. Love, they say love conquers all. You can overcome so many things with love. And it's true in a way. It really is if you find that right person and you just have that fit like a hand in a glove, All right.
Yes. And now that you said about love, that it conquers everything, you guys have a sword in the office by Jeff Bennett.
All right,
and we
on.
also have a sword.
That's right. Love conquers all. There it is.
Which says love conquers everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Here's our sword from Jeff Blue. Love conquers all. Actually, that's a really good memory, Ola, because I said that and I forgot about this. Or how can I forget about this sword? It's right next to me. I've actually.
Yours is bigger, but we had it had ours first.
Whose is bigger? Mine? Ours is bigger? You have one too, right? Yeah, Blue's a great guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I attacked Joe the other day with this, actually, in the office. He was here, and I was having a sword fight with him. Yeah, it was fun. So, love conquers all. Did I have it backwards? Okay, love conquers all. All right, very cool. We're going to put that right here. Kevin, you can take this with you in the kilt. It'll be fine. All right. Vane says, does Ola drink a lot of energy drinks?
I do not at all imagine me drinking energy.
Yeah, it would be like that. What is it with this video that's going crazy? You people are nuts over there. I think the guys behind the camera had some Mountain Dew somehow. I don't know what they're doing. All right. Swole wants to know, how do the women differ in Mexico, Colombia, and Peru? I don't know if you want to try that or you want me to try that. So do you see any differences between Colombian, Peruvian, or Mexican women?
Well, I do work with the foreigners as a coach, and I would say that Colombian ladies are more career focused, probably. But those who live in Mexico, that's the impression I have. And Mexican ladies are more like family oriented. They are to love their man, to create this affectionate environment.
All right. Yeah, I've been to all the countries, all the cities, and it's hard to really say, okay, this is this, because there's so many different women. And within a country, you're going to find career-oriented women. You're going to find women who are not as career-oriented, but even the career-oriented women are looking for love, looking for those things, right? And that's usually what's first for them. So, it's really hard to say. I would say in general, if you look at like parameters like English speaking ability and religion, they're going to be pretty similar in all the different countries you're talking about there, as far as English level capability. In most of these countries, Catholic is a big religion.
Yes.
Education level is going to be about the same in all those countries, I would say, pretty close. So not a huge difference. It's Latin America. So, yeah. All right. Trey says, yeah, I'm not sneaking anywhere in a foreign country. John's setting people up. Yeah, I know. I said that. Oh, my God. Someone's going to end up in jail forever. So, again, disclaimer. This station does not approve of the things that John is saying. Nor does John, actually. So, no. Don't go and sneak into a pool. Ola, don't let anybody get in trouble over there. But we do have Kevin who's going to be there. Kevin actually helped those guys a couple times ago when they were having a little issue there with the police. Kevin ran right up there and got them in more trouble. So, no, just kidding. He did try to help. That's one of the fun things about going. You know, these little things happen. Now, big things we don't want, but little things are fun, and you remember them, and you tell your friends about them, and yeah, it's fun. All right. Ricardo says, only 17 more days till I am in Mexico City. Are you going to be my matchmaker? Uh-oh. Somebody wants you. You have to clone yourself. No. Ola's more like organizational.
To clone yourself, please share it with me.
You are busy kind of organizing all the matchmakers and everybody else. So usually you're not just doing that. But that's a big job in and of itself. And that's another really cool thing that you guys get. You'll have your own matchmaker at both events, throughout the event, helping you meet these women, navigate through it all, and set up dates, and get contact information, and all that. So it really is an amazing experience.
Yes, and the matchmaking is fully briefed before the event about you. I talk with every matchmaker, explaining how the gentleman is, not just showing the profile. Look, this is him. No, I'm talking to you. I'm there with you at the hotel for a couple of days before I get to know you. That's why I have this huge benefit of telling the matchmaker what kind of a person you are, what kind of a person might be a fit for you. And I'm going to be your best friend, your assistant, your confidant, everything you need there. And Ricardo, I'm looking forward to meeting you here in Mexico City. I will be in touch with you very soon.
Cool. All right. Let's see. So Trey says, that's my biggest concern. Her being in the States and not having family or friends can lead to depression. Yeah, look, I've dealt with a lot of women coming here, my own wife actually, to the United States, and it's an adjustment. There's no doubt about it. And, one of the things that you have to do is try to be supportive, try to be there as much as possible. Poor Tanya, I had to leave shortly after she came here to go back to the Ukraine, and she was on her own, and she was able to go through all that because, well, she's a strong, wonderful woman, and it wasn't easy, but she did that. And so, and then she started thinking of what she wanted to do, and then she started getting into real estate because that's what she had done before, and then, she was doing wonderful things. But it's up to both of you together to help make that adjustment, and it can be difficult sometimes. But if you are there to help her and you get her to be as independent as possible, like how to drive, what she wants to do, and talk about that before she comes over. Well, what is it you want to do in the U.S.? What are you comfortable with? Do you want to try to work, or you want to do this, you can do that? And then do everything you can to help her accomplish those things. I've seen wonderful things happen with women that have come here. They set up businesses. If they're a lawyer, let's say, there was a woman that used to work with us. She was a lawyer in Russia. And then she came here, got her law degree, and she was a lawyer here. I mean, lots of different things you can do. So keep that in mind. Anything to add to that, Ola?
Great point, John. And I must say that Mexico City is very close to the United States. It's not like was taking Tanya to Russia or like for me going to Ukraine, right?
Right.
Mexico City is like, 2-3 hours depending on the point in the United States. So I don't think that the woman can really get into a deep depression. Moreover, if we are speaking about Mexican ladies, usually there is a huge population of Mexicans in the United States. So everywhere you go, there is a Mexican community.
That's very true. That's a great point, especially in Phoenix. I mean, a lot of areas in Phoenix, all the billboards and signs are in Spanish because of the large Mexican community we have here. So, yeah, or Hispanic community. So, absolutely. All right. Blue says Ola's is the stronger sword. Oh, well, I've got the bigger one, but you have the stronger one, according to Blue. Fine. You gave me a weak, big sword? Is that what you're telling me? Weak? Ha. We're going to have a talk there, Blue. All right. Ricardo. Where am I here? Ricardo says, Ola, do a few women have visas and passports specifically for the U.S.?
Yes. Many of our women have visas and the passports. Like for Mexicans, it's not a big deal to get a U.S. visa.
Okay. And Barboza wants to know, are Peru women more down to earth? You know, we've been going to Peru for a long time. I've been there several times, and I would say that there are many ways. I don't know if they're more down there, but they're very much interested in what we do. They're interested in me and the men, and we get probably per capita more marriages from Lima than we do from just about anywhere else. We get a lot of marriages there. We don't get as many men going there as we do compared to other destinations, but of the ones that go there, the percentage that end up getting married seems to be higher for whatever reason. So, yeah, I think they are down to earth. They're wonderful. Yeah, I have nothing but wonderful things to say about Peruvian women and Peru in general. So, yeah. Trey says, John, can you interview women who have moved to the States and talk about how they adjusted and how we as men can make the transition easier for them? That's really my only concern. Yeah, we've done that over the years, Trey, several times. We've had magazine articles about it. We've had many interviews about it. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that. Actually, just recently, Joe actually brought Marina over. She's been on a show talking about her adjustments. You know, and one of the things for her, look, everyone's going to be different, but you know, she and Ola, you can relate to this. She came from a large city, Kyiv, right? Big metropolitan city with public transport. And you walk outside, there's restaurants, there's everything. And she lives in a suburb of Phoenix, which are homes that are very spread out. And so you walk out of your home and, you know, you have to drive to the store. You have to drive to places. And there's not all this energy that you have in Kyiv. And it's taken her a while to adjust to that. Those are adjustments because it's just a different culture, a different way of life. And so, and she talks about that. So, yeah. Was it hard?
Anyways, you told love conquers everything. So if the woman loves a man and is determined to make the relationship work, she will do all her best to adjust to the new country.
Yeah. And then Frank says, Ola, your energy and passion is out of this world. Woohoo! All right, we'll give you a hand there, Ola, because you do have, you know, an infectious smile and your energy is amazing. I usually have good energy, but I forgot the Mountain Dew today, so my energy level is probably a little subpar. But yours is always up there. You're not even on any stimulants like I am.
No, nothing. Imagine, I would be like Roadrunner.
That's so funny. Vade says, I didn't know they have matchmakers at the AFA tours. Yeah, you're given a matchmaker at every social. Then you're going into the hospitality room where there's matchmakers, and they're helping you set up dates. They're giving you advice. They're making suggestions for you. You know, it's not like we just throw you in there and there's like no help or support at all. Of course you're getting help from all these people, and these are professionals that are actually helping you to try to navigate, you know, all of this that's happening and meet all these different women. And I can't tell you how many hours upon hours that these matchmakers, these women will sit and talk to you guys about the dates that you're going on, about the issues you might have with the woman, about this, about that. Tons of time that we spend with you. And that's all included in the price. No extra charge for that. And that's amazing, because to get something like that in the States, it's going to be minimum of like $25,000, but probably closer to $50,000 or $75,000. Just go out and look. Google it. Go to some of these matchmakers and see what they charge. It's just out there. It's how it is today. And so this is why I say, and will always say, that this is the best value in single men's travel out there today. There is no better value. And if you ever find one, please let us know. But I've had that challenge out there for years and years, and not one person has ever come up to me and said, "Oh no, John, this is a better deal." No. And you know why? Because there isn't one out there. Right, Ola?
Exactly, John.
Thank you. You knew you had to say that, but still, it's good. Because I could cut you off. I have control of the button. But no, you're telling the truth anyway, right? So that's cool. All right. Hey, if you can't have fun, why do it, right? All right. So Brendan says, I have 2 kilts I could wear in Mexico. Woohoo! But he's already engaged, I think, to the woman from Philippines. So you can't go do that, Brendan. But Blue, he's got 2 kilts. I don't know how many kilts you have, but, you know, we're going to get some kilt envy going on here. Yeah, I don't know how we get kilts on this show. We're talking about, like, women and international introductions, and somehow kilts get into this. See, that's how crazy these tours are. Stuff happens.
They are.
All right. Tuck. Okay, we're getting there. James says, I'm not wanting to be a keyboard Romeo, as John puts it. So out of curiosity, are the letters actually from the women, or is it written by the office the ladies are working with? So it's working in conjunction with the women at the office, right? So they're contacting women, they're getting women, but they're assisting the women in the correspondence back and forth, and they facilitate it. They translate it quite a bit. They're talking to the women, what to write, and they help. Absolutely. And we talk about that on the site. That's why it's so important to try to get to meet the women as soon as possible, because there will be a spin from the matchmaker in the letter as well. Especially with the introduction letters. I mean, the women, again, the matchmakers are helping them with the introduction letters, but the matchmakers are the ones sending those out for the women. So keep that in mind. So don't sit there and write forever. Would you agree, Ola? Ola?
Yes, that's right, John. Matchmakers are mostly helping with translation, but like they are also guiding ladies what to discuss or how to respond to the messages, because sometimes the ladies are, everything is now like this quick communication. So the ladies are used to just very short messages, and our matchmakers are educating ladies and explaining that you are receiving a big letter from a gentleman. That's why you need to also write a big letter in response to that. That's how our matchmakers are assisting. But yes, mostly that's translation and advisory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how it works. And if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't get anywhere near the results that you get on this site, and the opportunity to ultimately go over and meet and see if something can happen. I tell the story just about Joe and Marina and how she didn't want to meet him. And the matchmaker in Ukraine kept pushing her, no, Kohan, right back. He's a great guy, right back. And, she didn't want to, but she did. And she didn't want to meet him. And she's like, okay, well, if he comes here, I'll meet him. And then she met him. She's like, oh, my God, I almost didn't meet him. And I wouldn't have done it if not for the matchmaker. But because she kept pushing me to meet him, I met him. And I thought he was going to be too old. I thought that he was, a different ethnic thing, Mexican or something that I didn't want. I thought all these things, but it turns out it doesn't matter. That when I met him in person, I fell in love right away. And they hugged each other because she tripped over some luggage, and they fell into each other's arms, and that was it right away, right? But that would have never in a million years happened if it wasn't for the matchmaker pushing the woman. And that's one of the reasons you guys use this site, because you're going to get the more opportunity than you would if it wasn't for that happening. If it was like, no, we're just going to wait for the women to respond, we're not going to say anything, totally up to them, like a do-it-yourself site, forget about it. It's just not going to happen. We know that. So we know we have to push. And we push the men sometimes, too, to go, to meet. So anyways, yes. All right. Blue says, Ola, will you come to the seminar in Phoenix at the end of June? I don't know if you're coming, but we could maybe get you on at least on this. But I don't know if you're planning on coming. You're more than welcome, Ola, anytime you want to come. Love to see you here. Have you been to the U.S.? Have you been?
No, I've never been there, so I would love to come.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. It's not a bad idea, Blue. All right. Maybe I get another sword that's not so weak next time. All right. Ricardo says, thanks, John and Olga. This live cast is really helpful and educates a first timer like me. I am confident and more reassured about the singles tour. Good. Olga, see you in just a little over 2 weeks. And Ricardo, I can't wait for you to go there, experience everything, and then come back and share with us how you thought it went, how you did. You can talk with Kevin. He's behind the camera right now, but he's going to be there. And Ola, but then you can talk on this forum when you get back and share. And that's what we're proud of. A lot of companies will hide behind this stuff and not want to do live forums like this because they're afraid maybe what people might say and stuff like that. We welcome it because we know that we do our best to try to bring the women and the men together, and we create a wonderful atmosphere. And a lot of it is just up to the men and the women on what's going to happen or what's not going to happen. But at least we're there doing what we say we're going to do. And that has always, for the last 30 years or so, been really, really important to me. Because, we want to keep our end of the bargain up. And we do. And when you go to Mexico, you'll see that. All right. Ola, I think we've got to end this thing because we've gone overtime. I get in a lot of trouble when we go overtime and get the letters and yeah.
Good things finish very fast, right?
It does go quickly, no doubt about it. But we had such wonderful support and questions from all the guys out there. I mean, that's wonderful. So we want to thank you guys. Ola, I'm going to let you say some last words here before I say goodnight to you. So go ahead and say what you'd like to say before we let you go.
Thank you, John. Thank you for inviting me to this live. Gentlemen, thank you so much for all your questions and your trust. I am really looking forward to meeting those who I haven't met yet during the tour. And I'm excited to meet again the guys who have already been to Mexico City but loved it that much so that they are returning. And to the gentlemen who are still hesitating or who are still thinking whether to come or not to come to Mexico City, well, the more you are thinking, the more time you are losing and more opportunities you are losing to have a great time in Mexico City and meet lovely Mexican and some Slavic ladies.
That's right. The Slavic women are there too. Some Slavic women. That's right. All right, Ola, thank you so much for joining us tonight and have a great tour here in a couple of weeks. All right.
Definitely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. So there you had it. Ola, she does a great job. That woman is just amazing with her energy and just the bubbly. It's just wonderful. And she's like that all the time when you're there. And that's wonderful to have that kind of energy and personality. So wonderful. All right, guys. Bean says, I'll be flying to the seminar. Have they figured out what he'll tell you for the June 29th seminar? If it's not on the site yet, it will be out soon. But I'm glad you're flying out. Can't wait to meet you in person. That's wonderful. All right, very cool. That's June 20th. Is that the first one here? That's us here, right? In Phoenix? Is that Phoenix? I think it is. All right, anyways, it'll be on the site. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. You guys were wonderful, by the way. I really do appreciate the feedback and the participation. You all get participation points like school, but it is wonderful to have that. And when you come to like one of the seminars, you'll see that too. It's not just me up there talking forever. There's a lot of participation back and forth between everyone at the seminar, between the guys at the seminar, with me, with Tanya, with other people there, and it really, really does help. So it's wonderful to have this kind of forum and this input. We've been doing it for, well over 20 years now, and it's been wonderful one way or the other, so it's great. All right, next week should be interesting, a little bit different, but I'll leave it at that. We'll see how it goes. Might be some fun stuff happening. All right, so until then, be safe, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone.
No pudo dormir anoche, dijo. Estaba tan emocionado. ¿Cómo te fue ahí en el evento, Viviana?
Muy bien,
Bueno, ¿y qué tal los hombres?
preciosos.
Sí.
Ready for an exciting getaway? Break the routine and join us for our upcoming Latin tour in Medellin. Starts June 20th. Enjoy 2 nights of speed dating. You will meet hundreds of beautiful Colombian women. Submit your order at medellindating.com. Includes accommodation in a comfortable 5-stars hotel. 7, 10, or 14 days. Contact us at our Phoenix office +160-2553-8178. Or our manager in Medellin, Manuela, +57350-437-2537. Rate us at infofecolombia@gmail.com. Find your perfect match and take your life to the next level with a foreign affair.
¿Cómo estamos?
Muy bien,
¿Ya?
contentos.
¿Cómo te va con Machir y cómo te va en Guatapé?
El clima está un poquito caluroso, pero estamos pasando súper rico.
Sí.
Nos estamos conociendo
Sí.
y nos salió mucho feeling.
Qué bueno, qué bueno. Y para ti no es la primera vez que vas a Guatapé.
Pues no, acá no viene mucho, pero no es la primera
La
vez.
primera vez. Pero siempre gusta el paseo.
Sí, claro, está muy chévere.
Hello, and good morning. We are in Medellin on our city tour, and I'm here with James and Viviana, and they just met, right? Yesterday, or when did you meet?
Last night.
Last night
At
on the
the
social.
social, yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. I'm still recovering. I had so much fun. I couldn't sleep last night.
No pudo dormir anoche, dijo. Estaba tan emocionado. ¿Cómo te fue ahí en el evento, Viviana?
Muy bien.
¿Primera vez para ti?
Primera vez, muy acogedor, muy agradable, muy organizado.
Qué bueno. ¿Y qué tal los hombres?
Preciosos.
Sí, ¿te gustaron?
Gente agradables.
Qué bueno. ¿Y el que tienes al lado, qué tal?
Hermoso.
Sí, ¿te gusta?
Sí, ya.
Ah, qué bueno. We're starting well. I'm seeing that. How is it going with you two? We just started the city tour, I know, but you had breakfast. You could already spend a little bit of time together. Obviously, we have a couple of more hours. So how's it going?
It's going great. We feel very comfortable with each other and very relaxed, and great breakfast at the hotel, and we have a great translator. Alexander, we love our translator.
That's good. That would be my next question. Esa sería mi próxima pregunta. ¿Cómo hacen con la comunicación? Pero tienen traductora.
Tenemos traductora todo el tiempo. Sí.
¿Y cómo te sientes con eso?
¿Cómo?
Sí.
Segura.
Mejor tener traductora o también dice, bueno, yo puedo sola.
No, traductora, celular, yo puedo sola, herramientas.
Sí. She's saying the translator is amazing, but I said, and alone, would you do it alone? Yeah, with the app, or we going to do it? So
Yeah, Google Translate works well, you know?
Yes. So, and what else, James? You arrived already a couple of days ago. What can you say to somebody who has not been to Medellin, who has not been dating in Medellin? What would be like? Yeah, what would you say? How is it?
Well, the service has been amazing. It's exceeded my expectations. I mean, I had 3 dates in the first 2 days. I actually was a little tired. I had to take a break for one date. But the city is beautiful. I'm from New York City, and Medellin is absolutely beautiful. It's so green, the trees, the grass. I love the city and the people.
And the weather.
And the food.
And the food. So it's a great city, especially you're from New York. New York is an amazing city, but you are having winter right now still. So here the weather, you can see it's
Yes, it's
more
like
nicer.
80 degrees, sunny, little breeze. It's beautiful.
And the women nice.
The women? Amazing. The quality of woman is the best I've seen. And it's exceeded my expectations,
Oh,
so
nice.
I have to say.
That's good. That's nice. And the social was fun.
Very fun.
Yeah?
We actually won the dance competition.
Ganó ayer la competición de baile, sí. That's great.
Yeah, and it was relaxed. Everybody was very, very friendly, all the women.
Okay. Viviana, cuéntanos un poquito más de ti, si puedes. ¿Cómo llegaste a la agencia? ¿Cómo te enteraste? ¿Qué estás buscando?
Una amiga me recomendó que ya había participado en el evento, busco estabilidad emocional. Tengo una ventaja y es que tengo visa americana, entonces yo viajo cuando quiera.
Qué bueno.
Entonces puedo tener muy buena relación con ella.
Eso es más fácil, claro que sí. Qué bueno, eso me alegra mucho. ¿Y a qué te dedicas?
Soy administradora.
Ok, chévere. And James, what are you doing in your work life?
I own a soccer school for kids. I teach little kids how to play football.
Oh, cool.
So I guess that's kind of popular here in Colombia.
Yes.
All the women, they love
Yes.
football, most of them, right?
Yes, yeah, it's a very popular sport, and especially Medellin, they love football. Que él tiene una escuela para enseñar fútbol y dice que acá mucha gente le gusta eso porque sí, aquí la gente le encanta el fútbol. Sí, sí, sí. That's amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for giving us a little introduction to how it's going today. And I enjoy spending time with you, and I imagine you enjoying spending time with each other.
Very
Gracias por darnos la oportunidad de participar con ustedes en esa actividad y con esta entrevista. Y bueno, muchas gracias y espero que disfruten mucho.
Gracias a ti.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
I know we talked yesterday,
That's
but how are we
okay.
doing today?
Today is even better.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's good.
I'm with Lotta, and we're having an excellent time.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I saw you on the boat. You had a lot of fun.
Oh, we had a lot of fun.
They sang to you extra from New York.
They sang to both of us, and it was
Yes.
fabulous. And we did a little dancing together
Yes.
on the boat, and it's just been a fabulous time. The agency is really taking great care of helping put us together.
And how's like the day trip like? Because you haven't been here to Guatapé. We're going to go to the town now, but we did the boat trip. You didn't climb the rock, but you saw the landscape.
Yes.
How is it?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Everything here is beautiful. The culture is beautiful. The people are beautiful. Everybody's been so gracious. We're having a fabulous time, aren't we?
Yeah, they wanted to go helicopter flying now, but unfortunately the helicopter's right now not here, so we have to then leave that for the next time. But it's definitely a great experience and a great trip to do. So you can climb the rock, you can fly the helicopter, you can go eat and have a beautiful view, you can go shopping. So there's a little bit for everybody who decides to go to Guatapé, and they usually say you haven't been to Medellin if you haven't been to Guatapé. Like you have to go and do that excursion, and the rock is very famous, and we go to town now. El pueblo es bonito también, ¿cierto? Entonces, me encantan que se están conociendo. I love it that you have a great connection and that you have a good time and that you can explore the countryside together. So that's really cool. Y gracias por estas entrevistas, aún corticas, pero thank you so much for that.
Bye-bye.